Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Sabbath class, the 18th of December, 2021. I'll be reading from the scriptures a little later on out of Ezra. In the meantime, I'm asking everybody to like and share, subscribe to Prophets of Awakening, and hit the notification button if you can. And, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai by our Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. Okay. So with that being said, I want to say shalom and welcome to everyone to Prophets of Awakening, to our Sabbath class. We're going to do our moment of silence, prayer, psalms, and then we do a little current event. Okay. Yeah, this moment of silence is for in respect for the Lord of Hosts and our Redeemer and all he's doing to orchestrate our prophesied deliverance. Okay. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, this Sabbath day, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David and Solomon and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad, for we know you possess the power to do so. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, and to keep your commandments, your testimony, and your statutes with all our heart and soul, and to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear, O Lord, and do. Hide not thy face from us any longer, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. Let me get the songs out of here. Okay, I'm going to read Psalms 35. It's a prayer for rescue from our enemies. Plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. Take hold of the shield and buckler, and stand up for mine help. Draw out also the spear, and stop the way against them that persecute me. Say unto my soul, I am thy salvation. Let them be confounded and put to shame that seek after my soul. Let them be turned back and brought to confusion that devise my hurt. Let them be as chaff before the wind, and let the angel of the Lord chase them. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel of the Lord persecute them. For without cause have they hid for me their net in a pit, which without cause they have digged for my soul. Let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net be let that he catch himself into that very destruction, let him fall. And my soul shall be joyful in the Lord. It shall rejoice in his salvation. All my bones shall say, Lord, who is likened unto thee, who delivereth the poor from him that is too strong for him, yea, the poor and the needy from him that spoileth him. False witnesses did rise up. They laid to my charge things that I knew not. They rewarded me evil for good, to the spoiling of my soul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into mine own bosom. I have behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother. But in mine adversity they rejoiced, and gathered themselves together, yea, the abject gathered themselves together against me, and I knew it not. They did tear me and, and sees not. With hypocritical markers and feasts, they gnashed upon me with their teeth. Lord, how long wilt thou look on? Rescue my soul from their destruction, my darlings from uh, the lions. I will give thee thanks in the great congregation. I will praise thee among much people. Let not them that are mine enemies wrongfully rejoice over me, neither let them wink with the eye that hate me without a cause. For they speak not peace, but they devise deceitful matters against them that are quiet in the lane. Yea, they open their mouth wide against me and said, ah, our eye have seen it. This thou hast seen, O Lord. Keep not silent, O Lord. Be not far from me. Stir up thyself and awake to my judgment, even unto my cause, my God and my Lord. Judge me, O Lord, my God, according to the righteousness, and let them not rejoice over me. Let them not say in their hearts, so would we have it. Let them not say, we have swallowed him up. Let them be ashamed and brought to confusion together that rejoice at my hurt. Let them be clothed with shame and dishonor that magnify themselves against me. Let them shout for joy and be glad that favor my righteous cause. And yea, let them say continuously, let the Lord be magnified, which have pleasure in the prosperity of his servant. And my tongue shall speak of the righteousness and thy praise all the day long. So that was Psalms 35. It's a prayer of for rescue from the enemies. It was a prayer of David, Psalm of David. Any comments? Uh, yeah.
Shalom.
Okay.
Verse 8, let destruction come upon him at unawares, and let his net that he hath hid catch himself into that very destruction, let him fall. I love this psalm because King David is not only talking about rescuing us from our enemies, but also vengeance.
Right. Exactly. And then some.
Yeah, and also I think with that too is um, we are getting a lot of stuff on here locally talking about in schools critical race theory,
Right. Exactly.
and that I think falls into them realizing and seeing their destruction. So to
Right.
combat that, they are uh, trying to keep critical race theory out of the schools teaching that or even talking about it because they don't want to discuss or talk about their shame, and they
Right.
know the shame that they're going through is like with the COVID. They're suffering just as bad, if not worse than us, but they're saying the most people are being hit by the black folks, but we both know that's not the case.
Right.
And it's something that they created.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing about that. When you do a comparison and contrast, uh, we was talking about the other day how you got these so-called mores. They want to be mores. They was pastors, and then they got indoctrinated because they went to seminary. Now they want to be mores, and they got lines, and now the truth coming. And like I said before, you got David. He righteous, but David is all the men he most high dealing with. They rough around the corners. They rough around the edges. They ain't, they rough around the edges, but they righteous. So now all of a sudden the Most High bring these men back, and now they come on the line and say, "We not gonna talk about we not gonna talk about JC. That's he's our Messiah and all that. And we not gonna talk about him. That's off limits." So it's the same thing with with this right here with these critical race theory. Now the truth coming out because that's what critical race theory is. Now that the truth coming out, your offspring seeing why you in the position you in, why you having all the wealth, and why the Negro and the Hebrew don't have nothing, and they in the predicaments that they in. So it's cause of what you've done, and critical race theory is exposing it. But now that you don't want to talk about it, that's muted. So like I was saying before, this is what these people have set up for themselves. They through the New Testament. Now the truth coming out, you won't want to deal with it. But we got a creator. And we got a redeemer that's gonna bring it out. You can't stop. You're gonna have to leave the room because the conversation gonna happen.
Yeah, and their kids and grandkids are not wanting to accept and tolerate that because they brought about this new
Right,
paradigm. Everything is acceptable, but
right,
in that situation, what is not acceptable for a lot of their grandkids is this the
right,
old hat and the way they do
right,
things. So to combat it, we won't discuss it, and we will manipulate our kids into thinking the way we're thinking. So if we could input this critical race theory, we can go back to the old ways.
right. And
But
that's the trick. Yeah,
mhm,
the trick to that, I don't mean to cut you off. The trick to that is that so in this new world, this world right here they created with the internet and TV and all that, that same those little kids, they little grandkids, they hero is a black person. They favorite singer a black person. So now the game is flipped on them because you saying how are we all this here, but everybody that I cherish and everybody that mean a thing to me is Negro. So this is what y'all done to them. That's why they don't want it to come out. Yeah. So what you were saying? I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off.
you said it.
Yeah, all right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
You covered
Yes,
it.
sir. Right. Does anybody else got anything on that Psalms? Okay, yeah. So, like, one thing I want to shine light on before I get off of this was notice that David is talking about his soul. He's talking about what the Most High placed in him when he told Jeremiah, "Before you was born, I knew you." Talking about the soul. Flesh ain't got nothing to do with that. So David said that just what people are understanding. This the significance of the day. When you say you gonna mute me or you're not gonna talk about JC, then it's about the soul. It ain't about the flesh. It's about this soul that's the creator of the universe that put in the bodies. And he tell you when you seek me with your soul, not with the body or the flesh. That's what these ramifications are. So he says, plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me and fight against them that fight against me. Take hold of the shield and the buckler and stand up for mine help. Draw out also the spear and stop the way against them that persecute me and say unto my soul. See that? That's what I keep on telling you about the DNA. And then when you're talking to somebody, that soul is seeking the truth. And they ain't seeking nothing no shorter than that. It's seeking the truth. So that's how you can gauge. That's why you can continue on with the conversation, or you can cut them off because once you see that, you already know they didn't get two pennies about what you're talking about because their soul ain't involved in it. Yeah, and then go to one more place. 7. For without cause have they hid for me their net in the pit. Watch this. Which without cause they have digged for my soul. See that? They ain't playing with it. They ain't trying to cut a finger off or put an eye out. They digging all the way in for the soul. They want to cut them all the way off. That's what David telling you. And we know after David passed what they done did to the scriptures. They didn't turn David's sword to where he can't even fight in battle. And he just some dude that came to Israel and killed a couple of lions and bears and denigrated him. Okay? Yeah. So, anybody else got anything on that before I move on? Okay. So, current events. Anybody got any current events? Okay, here we go. In place. I got a couple right here. It's kind of interesting. Let me get it. Hmm. Play this right here. I was talking about this right here about how the DNA, where we at right now is the earth is reclaiming. He created Adam from the earth. And what's happening right now, everything, the earth is reclaiming all that. It's getting back aligned with that. And it's something that's beyond what these people have set up. The system they got up is contrary to the system and the connections that the Most High created. He bringing his connections back. And there's nothing nobody can really do about it. And that's why he's saying seed. Seed it's a big difference. So anyway, we're gonna play this.
Greetings, divine ones. New realities are in the process of developing. Realities that exist within a bandwidth created by the high frequency waves of light that are now flooding the earth at a pace that has never before been observed on
the high frequency of life is the Most High and these 7 angels.
Planet. Love, freedom, and peace pervade this universe. It is also a reality in which you have the potential to create exactly what you want out of your existence. This new 5D reality is no longer simply a pipe dream, an optimistic vision of the future, or a picture of a better future. It is here, more easily available than ever before, and just waiting for us to discover it. Possibly, you are not even conscious that you are living in a new reality. When you look around at the condition of the earth right now, you may think it's insanity to believe in its continued existence. There are so many different ways in which the world seems to be collapsing and spinning out of control at this time. In actuality, however, this reflects the reality that this new reality is not yet easily obvious in the outer world. Rather, it is manifesting itself first and foremost inside of us. Because something profound and powerful has been birthing within your heart for quite some time now, depending on how deeply you tune into your heart, you may come to learn that, yes, maybe it does exist, depending on how deeply you listen into your heart.
So to interject on that, what you have to understand is that they constantly trying to counter everything that the Most High doing. So guess what? Metaverse. This they counter to. We're gonna get into that a little more later on too.
Inspection may reveal that despite all of the hardships and losses you've had over the last couple of years, as well as the terrible events that have transpired throughout the world, something new and lovely has been providing life to your spirit. A new sense of empowerment and inner freedom may have gradually grown over the course of many years. On the other hand, you may benefit from more clarity or a healthy feeling of detachment. Possibly due to your greater capacity for love and joy, or perhaps due to your greater feeling of inner calm. One day, you wake up and discover that your life has been completely transformed. A new, more awake you has emerged, one who is very alive and attentive. Occasionally, you may be unaware of your new experiences since your mind is preoccupied with other things. There is a good chance that you are more aware of the depths of evil that are now being revealed and acted out around the world than the vast bulk of humanity. Despite the fact that you may have experienced emotions of
so what he's doing when you listen to this, they try to make you based on the New Testament and what these Greeks have done and these Romans, they got you thinking everybody ascended from Adam. But when you understand that what was being spoken about right here, this fifth dimension of earth is coming forth is Hebrews, Israelites, Adam descendants.
despair, grief, rage, and confusion that have come and gone. You cannot deny that positive changes have occurred inside you as a consequence of these unpleasant experiences. Most likely, these new feelings arose as you maneuvered your way through all of the uncertainty and collapse of ideologies and liberties that you encountered along the road. Take a thorough look around and see what you can discover. Have you obtained any new abilities or talents that aren't already included in your existing set? Have any new ideas or understandings come as a result of this process? Has a more widespread spiritual awakening taken place? Does it seem so? Have you seen an increase in the amount of magic that occurs in your life, such as synchronicities that occur more regularly in your life as well? Is it possible for you to recall seeing a miracle in which seemingly insurmountable problems were miraculously resolved? You can naturally shift into the 5D frequency and begin experiencing the promise of this new reality that is now emerging, even in the midst of the collapse of the old world that is occurring all around you. As long as you believe all of this to be true for you and focus on the positive changes that have taken place within you.
Okay. Can anybody relate to that? Okay.
I can say that, yes.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, go from a perspective of the word and what you got and what happened to you since you got that. It's dead on the money. But anyway, so you want to watch all that? It's the video is 5-dimensional Earth has arrived, but only 1% can see it. Come on, check that out. And just it hit me like a ton of bricks when I was watching it. Yeah. So anyway, let me go over here now.
You said 5-dimensional Earth what?
5-dimensional Earth has arrived, but only 1% can see it. Okay. We got another one right here. Okay, here we go.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be revisiting a topic that I covered last year, September 2020, about Black atheism. I had a viewer share another interesting piece with me today, and so I wanted to dive into the subject again and go a little deeper this time. Black atheists and non-believers are growing in number. They're growing in number for a number of different reasons.
Okay.
And so there were two articles that I saw that kind of point you in the direction of why some people are choosing to be non-believers or atheists, right? But I want to get into the deeper part of it, which kind of reflects on people, giving too much or putting too much confidence in other people. And thus, they sever their relationship with the Most High because of an experience or a traumatic event that they had while they were in some religious institution, right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to look at some of the articles so that you can see some of the reasons why those who choose to be non-believers or atheists are doing this. Some people have a reason, okay, a reason that they have pointed out, okay?
So we go any further. What's the reason? I mean, I was going to get some feedback. Why you think so many people they calling them atheists, but what's happening is they're rejecting JC. So why you think that is? Any comment?
Could it be that some of them, like example, when she started talking, I immediately thought about the Beyonce and the Beehive. They're putting more, even getting away from the JC thing and following her and her little cult.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. We don't talk about this.
Mhm.
Right. Like the scripture says, and based on what we just watched, time is up. And the Most High, he said that say a lie when it's only gonna last for so long. Then when its time is up, it falls to the ground. That's all happened. At the Council of Nicaea, when they concocted all this, it lasted and it served its purpose. Now it's falling to the ground. It ain't working. They're trying to make it work and continue to work, but it ain't working no more. That's like the church. It served its purpose, but now it's falling to the ground because it didn't serve its purpose. The Egypt and Babylon and And you know, the Medes and Persians, they rose and fell. It's the same thing with this. The Most High down is the eternal, and His laws, His statutes, and judgment, all that's eternal. Them ain't lies. They ain't gonna fall to the ground. But anybody with the right mindset can see. If it ain't right, it ain't only last for so long. Then it's gonna disintegrate, and that's all that's happening. You can't get mad, you know. Like I was saying before, 10 even 10, 15 years ago, you had these big mouth Christians that you didn't have nobody to defend the Lord of hosts, or to defend David, or defend the Most High's truths that's in His scriptures. But now you got people that you can't continue with them because of what they're saying in the scriptures. And not only that, the Most High reconnecting us to our source. So then what they want to do is mute you, or get angry, get crazy. They don't want you to talk. You know, and that's what that is. You can't. It's not that you rejecting JC. You just don't want to deal with the lie no more. If it was the truth, then you deal with it. But you can't be the Most High and turn a light bulb on in your head. You can't deal with no lies. You know what I'm saying? It's impossible to deal with lies when everything, your whole DNA and your essence and everything, like the Most High said, is yearning, thirsty for the truth. Okay, it ain't gonna happen. It's impossible. Okay, and come in.
Yeah, to me, Leonard, it's like they finding out the New Testament is a lie.
Right.
So now they want to discredit the whole Bible, but
Right.
that ain't so. It's that fabled New Testament. What's the lie?
Right. Exactly. And all the whole foundation, money, the banking system, all that is all connected at the hip with JC.
And
When
that's
he
what
go with everything else going. Go ahead.
And that's why they're using the celebrities and the music to try to rear them back in. They're using these folks as ploys to like that Kanye West church. All his fans, he's trying to lure them back into. Because I watched a video of him talking and stuff like that, and he's talking about JC this and stuff, and the people. That's their ploy now. Is we're losing them, so we're going to. They use our music as the gateway to them. Also, why is a person like him? You listen to all this music of old, with all this cussing and swearing and belittling women and stuff. All of a sudden, you are a Christian leader, but yet you still promote your same kind of music.
Right. Exactly. Right. So that's like I was saying before. Just like with this, all of a sudden they come up with this metaverse. All of a sudden now this is a last ditch effort because of that sway they had over us as far as with JC and the New Testament and all that. Them faded. So now they counter is bringing these celebrities that we've been worshiping and bringing them into the church system. They ain't changed, but they just bringing them into the church system, just like they did with Constantine. Constantine worshiped Mithras, the sun god. But in order to impose Christianity on the masses of the people, he all of a sudden supposed to be converted to Christianity. But he still, when you go back and do your research, he ain't never part from Mithras. That's how they operate. Okay. Same with these clowns today. They get up and put their hand on the Bible and all that, but they dealing with the Baphomet. That's what they worship. Baal. Okay. Anybody got anything else? I'm gonna play some more of this. Anybody got any comments for? Okay.
And when you look at these reasons, you can kind of understand why they chose to become atheists. Okay, not understand atheism as in, oh, I get why they're doing this, right? But an understanding of their decision. Okay, and so let me get into this really quick here. The first thing, okay, I don't want to do this one first. I want to go to this other article first. So bear with me one moment. This one is on the Associated Press. Okay, and so the question, this is one that was shared with me. Both of these were actually shared with me by one of our viewers, but there was another one on the New York Times that I would like to share, but I won't be able to share it on the screen because I don't have a subscription with them, and you only get so many times to view their website before you get booted off until the following month, right? So I can see it on another browser, but anyway, a lot of people when they're asked what's your religion here in the U.S., the common reply is none. Okay, now on the surface, I'm going to tell you I can agree with that. Okay, because too many people have confused religion with righteousness or
Right.
religion with having a relationship with the Most High Yah. Now, I wanted to get into why this young lady has chosen atheism or to be a non believer or to have no religion. It says Natalie Charles, even in her mid teens, felt unwelcome in her Baptist congregation with its conservative views on immigration, gender, and sexuality. So she left. She goes on to say, I just don't feel like that gelled with my view of what God is and what God can be, said Charles.
Okay, so we're gonna look at that. So we was reading in the book of Enoch and Jasper and different books over the last couple of years or so, and I was telling you about Enoch had told us, not JC, but Enoch said there was a seventh generation was coming, and people not getting the understanding the ramifications of that. His seventh generation was he put it like he just said. The girl said she knew something wasn't right. He's in the church, same church that the grandparents was in, great grandmother and all them was in there, but that didn't come to their mind to the point where it's at now. But he said that seventh generation, he's gonna flip everything around. He's gonna call the Israelites back out. He's gonna those that was thirsty. He's gonna pour water on them. That's what we at right now. That's how the prophecy of awakening came about. Prophecy. So that's what's happening. It ain't that they atheists. It's the Most High said they Israelite. He's gonna pour water on the Israelite. I'm telling what he's doing. He might be an astronaut, but there's gonna come a time he's gonna pour the water on him and flip him. That's what's going on. Ain't nothing nobody can do about it. Yeah. So you want to watch that? That's another video. It's Black Atheists and Non-Believers Are Growing in Numbers. That's the name of it. Okay. Anybody got any comments on that? Okay. I'm opening it up for some questions and comments, and then I got some scriptures I'm gonna read. Anybody got any questions or comments about anything they came across and they searching out the scriptures?
Hey, Leonard,
Okay.
back in Genesis, the 6 day man,
Right.
uh, did Yahweh create the 6 day man? Because it say, and God in 27, 1 and 27, it say, you know, uh, so God created man in his own image. But when you jump down to chapter 2, where he formed the 8 day man,
Right.
in verse 7, it say the Lord God, and
Right.
that's Michael, right?
Right.
So is that
Exactly.
Yahweh in 120? 7.
And yeah, 27 when he said created man and told him to replenish the earth.
Yeah, in 127 it say God created man.
Right.
But in 2 and 7, when he formed Adam,
Right.
it say the Lord God formed
Yeah. Right.
man.
Right. That's what I was saying about they flipping the words around on you to try to. That's the Lord of hosts, but they don't want you to know that there's no Lord of hosts. And so they say the Lord God, trying to tie that to the being that's in 127. But we know it's two different beings. It's just like in Genesis 1 and 2. When you read it right, we know there's two different beings because it says that in verse 1, God, and then in verse 2, it says the angel of the Lord moving
Right.
upon the waters. But they want you to make you think that's all one being because they want to bring the sun on the scene, JC. But the whole time, it was two beings there working in concert with each other.
So Yahweh made the 6th-day man, and Michael formed the Adam, right?
Adam from the dust of the ground, right?
Yeah.
And then he came and did the same thing I showed you with the animals. He made let me read it right quick. It's just just a nugget. Right here, let me get it right quick. See, and then, like I say, the way they wrote it, like I said, we've been dealing with literary geniuses, that's been dealing with their code. So it says, uh, Genesis chapter 2, verse 18 says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a help me. Well, the way the story been told to us and delivered to us, right here, you're assuming it's Eve, right? You're gonna make Adam a help me. Then 19, out of the ground, the Lord God, the same person that formed Adam, formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them under Adam to see if he would call them what he would call them, and whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was a name thereof. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that. And so let's look at it. So he said Adam needed a help me, right? We don't have no mate, no woman with him yet. He ain't put him to sleep. So you assume that was the woman he's gonna make, but he went and he formed some animals. So what he already made animals over there in Genesis 1. Those are wild animals. Then right here, he made the domesticated animals now, that the ones that's around the man now on the farm. That ain't trying to kill him, like the oxen and the sheep and all them, the ones he needs. Those are his helpmeets. And then now, so we know that Yahweh in heaven, he's super intelligent. We know that Michael's super intelligent. Why in the hell would he say this right here? And whatsoever Adam, look at this, whatsoever Adam called him, you got this super intelligent being in heaven, he ain't name him. And the Lord hosts, he ain't name him. See, he gave that responsibility to Adam. Not because he can't name him, but he gave that responsibility to Adam. Just like Yahweh. Yahweh could have formed Adam, but he gave that responsibility to this other intelligent being that he had with him, Michael. See that?
And that's why he called he's the prince over.
Yeah, he's the prince, right? Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then he turned around and wrestled with Jacob. And he changed Jacob's name to Israel. So let's look at that right quick. Come on, let me get you that. Maybe 1 minute. So 32. People looking over this because they're not looking at the conversation. Now, like I say, I showed you that the Lord of hosts, when the Creator dried up Mars.
Hey, Leonard, if you have time, since I've talked about the prince of him being the prince of Israel, could you expound at some point in time the other forms of princes and who they ruled over?
Okay, yeah, I do that.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm in Genesis chapter 32, and it says, 32 and 24. And Jacob was alone, and there he wrestled with a man uh, until the breaking of day. This man is the angel, Lord of hosts. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. And he wrestled with him. And he said, look at this, look at the conversation. It's a highly intelligent being way over Jacob's head. And he said, let me go, for the daybreak. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. See that? He ain't gotta ask him, he gotta tell Jacob to let him go. The three faggots in Sodom and Gomorrah tried to come in the room where Lot was at, and the angel raised his hand and blinded him. So he can do the same thing right here. But look at the conversation. He says, and he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. He asking him, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, Jacob turned around and said, I ain't gonna let you go, except you bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? See that? This is what I mean by how they're intelligent. And so we're gonna go in a little further. How in the hell is Japhet his brother and came over there on West Coast of Africa with slave ships and all the atrocities that happened? How are they the same people? Look at this conversation right here, and look what happened on the transatlantic slave trade. How they the same people? This is what they done to us when we read. They ain't the same people. So you got to go back to Genesis chapter 10. They ain't none of his brother. That's a lie from the pits of hell. Like the man says, two roads emerge out of the woods. Come on.
And that goes back into where the enemy named their sons after the
Right.
Israelites and stuff
Exactly.
for that future deception
Exactly.
and
For
the history.
what we dealing with today. Right, for what we're dealing with today. Yeah, so when it goes to that prince, you got all the angels in heaven. These princes, because they came from Yahweh. They all princes. Most High made. He formed seven, and he created millions of them. They all his sons of God. Son and prince, the same thing. Sons of the king. Then you come down to David. David got a lineage of boys that he had. They all princes. Then Jacob had 12 sons. Each one of them 12 sons got a son that's in waiting to rule that tribe. That's 12 princes right there. That's what happened with Jeremiah when he told Jeremiah to go to the gate. That's who was tormenting Jeremiah, was these 12 princes. They all went away from the Most High. They all went away from his law, statutes, and judgments, and Jeremiah went to the gate. That's where they hang out at. These 12 princes hang out at the gate. And Jeremiah went to the gate and told them, don't be listening to these false prophets. The Lord has sent me to tell you Nebuchadnezzar coming. And he's going to burn this place down. So they ain't have no computers then, but guess what they did? They muted Jeremiah. They didn't want to hear what he had to say. Jeremiah brought a scroll and gave it to him. And they throw it in the fire and burned it. They didn't want to hear. That was their way of muting. Yeah.
Is that why Jacob asked the angel name?
Right. So like I was saying before, you stop to think about that. That means Jacob had access to the book of Enoch, because Enoch the one that told them all what happened, what went on in heaven. They didn't know what was going on in heaven till Enoch was taken up for that purpose, and he came back with books, gave it to all our forefathers that they carried around, and they was reading it. And they know these angels.
Yeah, he had to know his role because that's why he asked him his name, right?
Right. He asked him his name. So they having an intellectual conversation. And he, like I said, he could turn around and pop him upside the head if he want to, because of the difference in his power and Jacob's power. But he's talking to him with intellect, and he asked him, let me go, man. Come on, let me go. And Jacob said, I ain't letting you go because you got, I'm thirsty. And I've been dealing with these scriptures, and now I done got hold of one of y'all, and I know who you is. I ain't letting you go. That's the difference in the right knowledge and wrong knowledge. Right?
So he's putting his life on the line, so in hopes of getting
Right.
the knowledge. He's like, I
Right.
know who you are, I know what you're capable of
Exactly.
doing, but I'm hoping you would give me what I'm
Yeah.
thirsty for.
Right. And he's anticipating that from what was delivered to him through Enoch, that these highly intelligent beings. They ain't vicious. They ain't trying to do nothing slick to you. They just come in and they conversing with you. He not trying to impose his power on you that the Most High done gave him. He gonna talk to you righteously. And Jacob dealing with him from his soul. It's different. His soul on the line. That's how he's dealing with him. And that's where the Most High bringing the Israelite back to today. It ain't business as usual. You ain't no regular conversation, whoop-de-doo conversation. There's a lot on stake. It's a lot on the line when you have these conversations. And like I said, the words are spirit, just like the angels are spirits. The words these words in the same dimension with the angels. So when you get hit with it, then it ain't the same. You got to do something. Yeah, that's how it works. It ain't business as usual. Okay? Anybody else?
Real quick, we're talking about in Genesis 1 and 2. When you're talking about at the top it says God and then Lord God and 2. But a lot of people, I know that was the question that I get when I talk about this from people that are Christians. So
Right.
the let us. So Michael and other angels, or just Michael, was there in
Right.
chapter 1.
Right.
But he was kind of, to me, it looks like he followed that pattern and created his own. I don't know, because it was saying God said, let us make man in our image. And it said, then God um, created. So over there, but then Lord God created over here. But Michael was there with him, like you said in Genesis 1 and 2.
Right. Right. So he the understanding that they didn't take away from us is, I was telling you how when in the conversation with Job, which I don't like to bring up, but he told Job, you sitting there fumbling around with me, where was you at when I created the snow, and I got storehouses of snow and all that, and I got angels over snow, right? So we got souls in our bodies. He got an angel, Raphael, that's responsible for when that soul, when the body, when the flesh die and go back to the ground. Raphael's responsibility is to bring that soul back up to heaven. He brings that soul back up to heaven. So he just like creating stuff. He got an angel that's over creating stuff, Michael. That's why Satan got a problem with him. Can't no other angel have that ability. Michael has the ability to create. So we see his two beings there. So he said, make light. Michael make the light. Make this. Michael make that. Create this. Michael create that. They're working together. And that's why the other ones ain't there. They don't have the abilities that he has. The two of them, like I was saying before, as above, so below. The Most High did all this stuff up in heaven. Michael came to the earth and did it on the earth. He doing the stuff on the earth. So he says, let us make, he says, uh, the earth, Michael, the heavens is his home and the earth is his footstool. He's talking about the two of them. Like I was saying the other night, Michael, Yahweh is up in heaven. The Most High's right hand man is Michael. So he's in heaven, and his footstool is on the earth in Mount Zion that was given to him for a possession. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, them Christians, they gonna try to make that us
Yeah,
JC.
yeah, JC and the Holy Ghost.
But you know, when you go to Genesis 11:7,
Right,
you know, he say, "Let us go down." So
right,
we
Christ.
know
Yeah,
that's them angels right there.
right, exactly. And you can't change the dialogue from Genesis 1:26 and from what you just mentioned. But whoever the us is in Genesis chapter 11 is the same us in Genesis 1:26.
Right, and it ain't JC.
It ain't JC, right? Right. And like I was saying before, you know when it's you know it ain't something that you just gonna get overnight. But like I was saying before, we was read last night in Exodus 20 in Enoch 20 chapter 20, they got Uriel listed as the number one angel. But we know that's a lie because when you go to Daniel in the Old Testament, uh, Michael commanding Gabriel to go and make Daniel understand. Well, we know Gabriel is the number two angel. So if Michael commanding Gabriel, then that means he over Gabriel. That means that put him in the number one slot.
Yeah,
From the
they
book, the
they
sixth.
all obeying Michael, right?
Right, they all obeying him. Yeah. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you write and divide those scriptures, it just fall in place. But like I said, who able to do that? You know, and if they are able to do it, Lucifer damn sure ain't sent them. They had to be dealing with the Most High. Okay.
And what's the scripture that what it was Yahweh's name and name, saying that who Michael is and his role? I can't remember the scripture, but he says that Michael is his basically right hand man. He's naming names, snitching.
Right. I think that's in Enoch, or was it in the Tanakh? It's in the Tanakh or in the Enoch.
I think it's in both. Just couldn't
Okay.
remember which ones right off.
Yeah. I was reading it. We reading it in Jubilees where, Jubilees is the reason why it's called Jubilees is the Most High heaven operates off 50-year cycles. 7 times 7 is 49 years, and 50 is Jubilee. So that's why it's the Book of Jubilees. And so the angels are talking and telling the story. And so in that Book of Jubilees, he tells you, Michael say, that was me on Mount Sinai. And I'm the one that told gave Enoch, brought him up to date from the time he came in existence. I told him everything that happened from the time of earth creation to when I met him on Mount Sinai.
Hey, say it again, because I need to write that down. You said that the first part said the Bible operates in what 50-year increments.
Yeah, Jubilees.
Oh, Jubilees does.
Right. No. That's what a Jubilee is. 7 times 7 is 49. That's a 7 is 7 weeks a year. You know how you got a week with 7 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got a week of 7 years, and you dealing with the land. You got to work the land, till the ground for 6 years. The 7th year you let it rest. That's for the land. But the Sabbath day is for man. That's 6 days you work, and the 7th day you work. The land work by years, which is weeks of years. And so 7 times 7 is 49 years. The 50th year is Jubilee. That's how you keep time in heaven. The angels keeping time by Jubilees.
Okay, thank you. I'm writing that down. I need to make sure I remember that.
Right. Okay.
One more thing. I think it was brother Andre or brother Lamar. I don't remember, but they talked about Enoch 40 listing them last night. And I was looking it up, and it does show Michael as the first one. I know we looked at 20, but he also brought up chapter 40 had a list of the angels
Okay, let me see.
and Enoch.
Yeah, 20 has all the list their roles and responsibilities. And I had mentioned to Leonard, that's the book I sent you, Leonard, a book of Enoch, where they
Right.
shorten, instead of having 7 holy angels, they have 6. And that's
Yeah.
what I think they made that 7th one being the lead, being JC. So,
Right.
and that all depends on which book of Enoch you order off Amazon or
Right.
whatever. Some have them, some don't.
Right. That's them fumbling with it. That's what that is. So you said chapter 40.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, yeah. It says in the third, okay, in the second, and he said to me, the first is Michael, the merciful and long suffering. Yeah, exactly.
Where is
But,
it? What book? Where?
but what this is? This what I mean by they clowns. When the truth started coming out and you started connecting these dots, you see. But these are like I was saying before, these are the 4 angels I was talking about last night, the whirlwind. That's what this is. So it contradicts what they didn't put over there in chapter 20. So these are 4 angels, these are 4 creatures. Let me show you. Right here.
What book we in? What we looking at?
That's 40. That's the book of Enoch, chapter 40. But I'm in Enoch, chapter 1. You know, and then you, like I said, some people when you hold a conversation, they come in on the ass end of that, and they thinking that, you know, you making concocting scriptures. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm in Ezekiel right here, chapter 1, and it says, I read this last night. It says, now, chapter 1, verse 1, it came to pass in the 13th year of the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Kabor, that the heavens were open. The heavens were open. I saw in a vision in the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of the king Joachim's captivity. The word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel, the priest, son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Tabor, and the hand of the Lord was upon him. I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and it's a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about it. And out of the midst thereof came the color of amber, and out of the midst of the fire. Also, out of the midst of it came the likeness of 4 living creatures. See that? So they want you to think these these different beings than Michael and them. But so it says in Enoch chapter 40, 10, verse 10, 40 and 10. Who are these 4? See that? Who are these 4 presences which I have seen and whose words I have heard and written down? And he said to me, the first is Michael. See that? I told so you want to think I just sticking him there. But Michael, the one toting the throne, he one of the angels toting the throne of Yah. That's what people understand. So if this same cloud came down on top of Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights, they with him. It ain't just Yah. They got you thinking it's a Yah up on Mount Sinai. They up there with him. It's just like you got a chauffeur. You got a Bentley, and you got a chauffeur taking you everywhere you go. Wherever the man of the house at, the chauffeur there with him. You might not see him or talk to him, but he there. So these 4 angels told him, and the Most High only move in a cloud. Let's look at one more place, and you have to be able to that have to be understood. You fumbling with the scriptures, you don't understand that. So he says, lost my thought. Yeah, like I said, he's on Mount Sinai. When he came down on Mount Sinai, the four of them is with him. They carrying him in the cross. Yeah, I got it. 2 Samuel. Let me get it. The 2 Samuel. And 23. 2 Samuel 22. And it says, this was David when he passed away. He had a vision. Most High showed him what was going to happen to him. So it says, verse 4, I call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be safe from my enemy. When the waves of death compassed me, floods of ungodly men made me afraid. So I just told you, one of the roles of one of these angels is to bring the souls of these people, Adam's descendants, back up once the body died. So guess what? If they brought the soul, got to bring it back up, they brought the soul down. He told Jeremiah, I knew you before you was in your mother's womb. So if he brought it, he got to escort it up to heaven. He brought it down from heaven. So anyway, he says, so David died in verse 4. Then in 10, 10 says, he bowed the heavens also, came down. Darkness was under his feet. That's the cloud. So there go the cloud again. So it's a cloud there. The four angels with him that I just showed you in Ezekiel chapter 1. He can't be there. Now look what they say. 11. And I rode upon a cherubim. Well, that's what they are. They're cherubs. One is cherub, but more than one cherubim. I am on it. So that's what he's telling you right here. And it's no different than 2 Samuel 22, 10 through 14, than Ezekiel chapter 1. And on Mount Sinai, they all there with him. You have to understand that. He ain't going nowhere without his escorts. His escorts coming with him. They didn't want to carry him. Okay. Anybody got anything else?
Hey, you talking about clouds. That remind me of Ezekiel 38.
Uh-huh.
It talk about a cloud that's supposed to come and cover the land.
Right.
Is that our enemies, or is that's the enemies coming against Israel, right? Because he did the same thing in Jeremiah.
Right. Exactly.
Cloud.
Right. That's more or less them kicking up a dust of cloud, and they in the cloud.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a great army.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. So we know, and then same thing with I read in Isaiah chapter 60. He said, "Rise and shine, for the Lord is above thee." That same thing. It's him in the cloud. When they came out of Egypt, there was a cloud, and then when they stopped, the cloud stayed there. When it was time for them to go, the cloud moved. That's what he's talking about. See,
Any reason why when he delivered them out of Egypt, why was it at? I mean, it was at night, right?
right.
Is there any reason why it was at night? Is that signifying? Is that when the what's the reason of that?
Well, that's how you write a divide there. So, evening we know is at night, right?
That's yeah.
So, when did he come and talk to Adam, the Lord of hosts?
Cool of the day.
Was it daylight yet?
I mean, no.
So when you think he delivered them? In the cool of the day, in the early morning?
Early morning.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
They saying night.
Right. They putting that in there. Night.
Right. They giving you somewhat the truth, but they don't want you to have no understanding on how it operates. Just like when he came to, when he dealt with Jacob, what he told Jacob, the day is breaking. Let me
Right.
go. Let me
Right.
go. All of them is right before day. It's still dark.
I take some of that symbolism that, like Michael being the first, he said, as we know, the day is the morning, the beginning early before the sunrise. That's the
Right.
beginning of what I'm doing. It symbolizes him as being the first of everything, and he does things in the first format.
Right. Right. Even with the dew.
Right.
Dew. That's when the dew is brought. The dew ain't just falling. It's angels over there.
Mm-hmm.
And that dew is you see that dew come right before day. It's a renewing process. Yeah. Is there something? Anybody else? Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna play this. I was telling you about that. Now that we waking up, and it's a spiritual thing, and his angels in another dimension, like Matrix and all that, and words in another dimension. Well, we're gonna play this right here with that understanding. Uh, Wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How are you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. Thanks for all the love, beloveds, that I got while I was away on my trip, on my, relaxation, mental health check, whatever you want to call it. It was absolutely a good, an amazing, not even a good, an amazing experience. And as I've said, and I'll keep repeating, it's so important to get out of the vibes you're in, beloveds, before the whole thing totally shuts down, just to even see how far you've come spiritually and to see the results of the work that you've been putting in, behind closed doors, working on yourself, because you'll never know, how far you've gotten until you're in a different environment where your mind now has to tap into that, because what we've been creating is new cells of information within us that kind of override the lower level ones, and we'll only see the power of them in operation, period, when we're in a totally, different environment from where we've been doing all the hard work, etc., etc. But those are definitely stories for other days. A lot of you asked me to talk about Facebook's new name change to Metaverse, and the whole thing that's been going on. There's a lot of people who have done really good in-depth videos. One I would recommend is Bro Sanchez. He did a really, really good breakdown. I think he's even done like 3 videos of what it means, why they chose the word metaverse. There's even people from our Hebrew family who have broken down the meaning of the word meta, and just all the occult things that are going on. But beloved, from my perspective, what has happened is that they are creating that universe that I told you about. Basically what's happening is that the Babylon system has collapsed and it is fading. It's the natural world has literally kicked out the Babylon system. But the Babylon system still has the minds of the majority of the people. Please watch my show on consensus reality to understand where I'm going with this. And because they have the minds of the majority of the people, they're still able to, to keep themselves going as the world collapses around them, because nature has rejected them. Yeah. Nature is going to, she's on a whole. Yeah, this metaverse is a last ditch effort, because Most High changing the consciousness of the planet. He bring it back around, and they last ditch effort. Everything is, because it's all lies falling to the ground.
cleansing phase right now. She's expelling all that is cancerous to her, all that is wicked in her system as she gets ready to replenish herself. And, she's also heating up. It's like the way when, something is attacking your body, your temperature will go up so that it can remove those enemy cells. That's basically what Mama Earth is doing, Mama Gaia, whatever you want to call her. And as she does this, many people, like the Mzungu's beloveds, they won't be able to come out into the sunshine. And many of our own people who have adopted too much of their ways, their diet, their system, will also find it, the heat pretty intense. So we are in the worst of times and we are in the best of times. The best of times for us, but the worst of times for them. And you see, they need the consensus reality. They need the collective minds of the people, which is now why they're pulling people into these multiple universes. And that's what all this lockdown vibes has been about, beloveds. It's been about getting people to be used to being in their literally coffin, because that's what all these apartments and houses, they're all square. By the way, we never lived in square houses just because of how energy would get trapped in the corners. We always wanted to live in circular structures so that the energy would flow and so many things. But our ancestors were ahead of their times. They may have not explained everything, but they left signs for us to be able to study and reason and meditate on and hear their voice on why they did that. You see, they want us to tap out of our true power and the true power of the universe, which is nature.
Right. So like I was saying before, they looking at that. And they see, looking all around, they see how we changing vibrations and the earth, everything changing, everything working toward us. Like Isaiah chapter 62 says about she's gonna turn the forces of the Gentiles toward us. They witnessing that, they see that, and they coming back this here. They ain't just come out the blue with metaverse. They trying to cyborg, they trying to throw us off. They trying to cyborg us. That's what metaverse is. So with that being said, I'm not gonna give you I'm not gonna play the video with this dude, Brother Sanchez. I just give you his name. You just type in Brother Sanchez in YouTube, and it'll come up. But because you gotta see what he's showing you, you can't just hear what he's saying. But you gotta see what he's showing you. How he's got the goggles, how them goggles that they got with the metaverse that you put on, and how they, it's the shape of a snake, and how it go around. You got to see all of it, and break it down. He kind of rough around the edges, you know what I'm saying? But he putting out some good information, So yeah, check that out. It's his name, Brother Sanchez. But I just want to tip you off on the fact that Most High said ain't nothing fall to the ground he don't know nothing about, and so that means that ain't nothing happening just to be happening. It's all linked together. It's either for your good or it's for your bad. It's the powers that be at work, or either Yahweh at work. That's what that is. It ain't nothing just happening just for the hell of it. Okay? And comment. Okay? We got one more thing for one more. I played these guys the other day, and they was I was trying to make contact with them, but I didn't get no contact. Let me see if I can find what they got on here. Yeah, there you go. And they didn't respond to me, but I want somebody on here to tell me where's all this stuff coming from they're talking about.
And there it was. Proverbs 5:15. Drink from your own cistern, flowing waters from your own well. Intended primarily for my brothers and sisters who have discovered that they are the true descendants of the Hebrew Israelites, of the book known as the Old Testament.
Israelite assemblies.
And for those of other nations who fear and follow the commands of the Most High.
But yeah, Israelite assemblies. I think they got something like 5 or 10 videos now. They recently started.
That's David Murphy from Europe.
Yeah. Known as
Dave, right? Yeah.
David Murphy from England.
Right. Yeah. But what I would just do is check out the content. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus or Yeshua, Yahushai, Yahusha, Yahushua, or Yeshua. However, if you're a born-again, saved, white Anglo-Saxon Christian type, then don't bother watching this video. It's not for you. There's no point in arguing with anything that's in this video because the contents are based on the way of life of the Hebrews, and you are in a religion that worships a pantheon of gods entirely different from the Most High I Am of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I have no interest in any debate with Christians. What you choose to believe is your own affair. So don't come on here and tell me that I need to be saved, or I haven't done enough research, or I haven't been possessed by the holy demon spirit yet. I don't need you to pray to your idol for me. I don't need to be born again. I just need you to go away. So, I was fortunate enough not to have been indoctrinated into a religion. My mother was a non-practicing Catholic who decided to allow her children to figure out what they wanted to believe. So for me, at the age of 13, after researching many religions, I decided that they were all control systems. So I was an atheist for 40 years, and I wanted nothing to do with religions or Bibles. But over the course of my 15 years of truth-seeking, the Bible was presented to me 3 times. The first time was when I was researching the perfection of the human body. And after learning about urine therapy, somebody mentioned to me, you know, urine therapy is in the Bible, don't you? And I was like, really? So I checked it out, and there it was. Proverbs 5:15, drink from your own cistern, flowing waters from your own well. And just in case you think that verse means something else, if you look up the word for waters, mayim, it means bodily fluids, urine. So number 2 was that somebody told me that King James, the 6th of Scotland and the 1st of England, the one who authorized the King James 1611 Bible, was a black man. Now, of course, I didn't believe it. I'd seen the painting of him in the National Portrait Gallery, but after doing a little research, I found engravings of the man that couldn't have been whitewashed. And sure enough, he was a black man. And his wife, Anne of Denmark, was a black woman with an afro. The 3rd time was after I discovered that the earth was flat. Somebody told me, you know, the Bible's a flat earth book, don't you? Again, I was like, really? So I checked, and sure enough, the Bible describes the earth as a motionless circle set on pillars with a dome over it. Now, whenever something presents itself to me 3 times, I kind of take that as a sign that I should pay attention to it. So I decided to actually read the Bible for the first time ever from cover to cover. And when I did so, several things struck me. I was surprised to find that it was a straightforward and easily comprehensible literal story. It also seemed obvious to me that the New Testament was a separate and unrelated book, and it was the so-called Old Testament which was the book that deserved further investigation. The Book of Remembrance is the real name of the so-called Old Testament, and you can find that in Malachi 3:16. Then they that feared the Most High spake often one to another, and the Most High hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him, for them that feared the Most High and thought upon his name. In my opinion, the Book of Remembrance also includes the books of the Apocrypha. That's 14 books that are in the original 1611, but removed from later versions. And also the books of Enoch, Jubilees, and Jasher from the Dead Sea Scrolls found in 1947. When one reads the Book of Remembrance without the lenses of Christian doctrine, it's obvious that it's a story that follows the trials and tribulations of one bloodline, one particular group of people, beginning with Adam through to the end days. The New Testament, however, is an entire...
Yeah, so notice what he said. It's a group of people, right? Not Ham, not Japhet. See that? So that killed Genesis chapter 10 right there.
entirely different book, written in a different language, in a completely foreign style. And while it claims to be a continuation of the Book of Remembrance, it's suddenly no longer about those people at all. And thousands of years of history and genealogy is casually tossed aside. It begins by introducing a new central character and desperately tries to convince the reader that he's not new at all. But not only was he there all along from the beginning, but he was also what the newly renamed Old Testament was all about. And it's just a coincidence that the Most High and all the prophets absent-mindedly forgot to mention him by name. In this new book, written by Greeks and edited by Romans, the Most High doesn't say a single word, and he's described as an entity of an entirely different character to the Most High I Am of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This God is now represented by the book's new central character, Jesus, who is conceived in exactly the same manner as the Most High regarded as a grievous sin, demands that we praise him as the Most High's sales rep and publicist in exactly the way the Most High commanded us not to, and died for everyone's sins in exactly the way the Most High said that no man could. It becomes painfully obvious to anyone not blinded by the word magic of Christian doctrine that the New Testament concerns a new Greco-Roman pantheon of gods, the benevolent, all-loving, all-forgiving, yet unnamed Father God, another unnamed God described as a Holy Spirit, who, curiously enough, goes around possessing people and raping young women in exactly the same manner as the Greco-Roman gods did. The Son, S-U-N, Jesus, whose name sounds suspiciously similar to the Greek words Iousus, which means son of Zeus, or son of the supreme deity of, you guessed it, the Greeks. Zeus is also a synonym of the word Deus, another word for the last god in this pantheon, the devil, which the Book of Remembrance reveals as a particular nation of deceivers, not an individual. In fact, the word devil doesn't appear in the Old Testament. It's the word devils, plural. It has to be considered that the authors of the New Testament had access to the Book of Remembrance when they wrote it.
Mm.
And it becomes obvious that whole passages were lifted from the Book of Remembrance, the Book of Enoch, and no doubt other suppressed books to give it the air of authenticity. The acts and works of the character known as Jesus are directly taken from the Book of Joshua, whose name, quite coincidentally, is that which the name Jesus is supposedly based on. There are also supposedly hundreds of prophecies concerning Jesus, and nobody seems able to agree on the exact number that the New Testament claims are alluded to in the Old Testament, which would seem like overwhelming evidence, but for the fact that each one of these so-called prophecies, when studied individually, turn out to be isolated verses taken out of context and out of time and misapplied as prophecies of a character that wouldn't be born until hundreds, if not thousands of years later.
Yeah, so we discovered all that. That ain't nothing but another confirmation. And that's what I was telling you, Most High behind time up. You open people's eyes up. It ain't happening no more. So you get into a conversation with somebody, and no need of feeling guilty about it, because it's their time. And no need to hide in the corner and not talking. He gave you the information for a reason. Put it to work, because time's short. So anybody got any comments on what they just heard? If you want to watch all of that, like I said, it's the name of the video is 22 Jesus Exposed. It's the name of the video, and it's the channel is Israelites Assemblies. Yeah. So with that being said, anybody got any comments about that or anything they want to bring up before we go?
It's good to see all these lies being exposed.
Exactly.
You know, like he said in Jeremiah 16:19, you know, even the Gentiles gonna say they inherit vanity and lies.
Right, right. When it's all said and done, when he finished
Right.
beating all the truth out of them, then they got nowhere to run and hide. They're gonna see that the whole thing that's been set up is a bunch of lies.
Bunch of lies, man.
Right.
Hey, Leonard, when he did this lecture, and I think I posted this one a couple of months back on because I saw it. If you look at the lecture and you look at the audience, it's it's number white folks there.
Okay.
So when I sent it to my cousin, I said, man, that joker probably should have said that with body armor on and Kevlar.
Right. Ain't that something?
Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I think they're starting to get more and more exposed. He kind of waning on certain areas, but yeah, he bringing out. He sees that there's an obvious difference in the Old and New Testament. That's for sure. Anybody else? I see you got the thing open, Cynthia. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, we're gonna close out, and we're gonna pick it up at 6 o'clock this evening. Let me do this right quick.
We love our house. Been here for years.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I see everybody tonight at 6 o'clock for the end of the Sabbath class. Evening Sabbath class.
Shalom, man.
Okay. What you say?
I said shalom.
Okay. Shalom.
Shalom.